There will not be another foot of wall constructed on my administration.
Hey there, guys. Welcome to the channel. So the world is literally on fire, driven by bad policies, greedy motives, and really some of the worst kind of partisans that we've probably ever seen. And this is exactly when we need trusted and honorable sources. And luckily, we have Joy Behar and the rest of the ladies on The View. The problem is they were just as surprised as the rest of their mushy-brained victims of propaganda when old Joey declared that he's ready to build the wall, basically because Trump told him to.
Who are they? Isn't he in charge of the country?
So here's Joe trying to fumble through an explanation of why he must now, after millions and millions of illegal entries and thousands of people dead as a result. And it's not because of all that. No, that's not the reason he has to. He just has to.
Money was appropriated for the border wall. I tried to get them to reappropriate, to redirect that money. They didn't. They wouldn't. And in the meantime, there's nothing under the law other than they have to use the money for what it was appropriated. I can't stop that.
Do you believe the border wall works?
No.
So I gotta ask, man, even for the complete and total morons who believe this guy, how is that an acceptable answer? He says he has to spend the money for the very thing he promised them that he wouldn't do because the phantom they say that he has to. And they say if he wants to spend it, he's got to spend it on this, nothing else. Even though he doesn't believe that it will be money well spent. So guys, even for the foolish, how did they not just ask him, why not just not spend it, Mr. President? Why not just not spend it? Ignore them. Ignore Congress like you always do. You ignore the Constitution, you ignore Congress, you ignore the courts. He's obviously not telling the truth. And for anyone who knows history, by the way, Congress has appropriated money for the border structure, border wall, multiple times, all the way back to the 1980s. And each time, it's been largely wasted on other things or totally ignored. So what makes this moment different? Anyway, I'm going to shut up. You guys don't want to hear what I think. You're all waiting to hear what the great Joy Behar has to say about this.
Who are they? Isn't he in charge of the country?
No, Congress appropriates the funds.
Well, why so he can't get Congress to get that money and use it for something else?
No, it'd be very difficult. There are two ways that he could do it. One way he could do it is to defer it, but he would have to provide for contingencies. He would have to achieve budgetary savings made possible through improved operational efficiency, and that would be specifically provided by law. Or he could get recessions from Congress, which is never going to happen.
Honestly, man, you know, it's wonderful to see that you finally come around. You know, we've been asking the same question. Who are they? Who is running the country? We've been asking this since basically the moment that they dressed up as the Easter Bunny to lead Joe around by the nose. Maybe Sonny can help us figure it out, you know, with the help of some of the leading geopolitical experts of modern day, Jay-Z and Kanye West.
Go didn't pay for it, right? So we're paying for it as American taxpayers, and that was Trump's promise. And the other thing is, you know, Jay-Z and Kanye West said years ago, people will dig under the wall and fly over the wall. So I don't know why, when everyone agrees that this is not effective, that we would spend this much money on an ineffective measure.
Right, they could use the money to help the migrants who are here already.
No,
Yes.
they can't.
That's
They
one
can't
thing.
redirect the funds.
But it's
That's
important
crazy.
to note this passed through a bipartisan act of Congress when Nancy Pelosi was Speaker. So Democrats supported this appropriation that he's now facing. It's not like this just came from a bunch of right-wingers and he wants to send it back. But here's the reality. There's a crisis at the southern border. What your answer is on the solution may differ, but Alejandro Mayorkas, Biden's own DHS secretary, said with regard to this border wall, there's an acute and immediate need to construct a physical barrier. So DHS and the White House do not seem to be communicating on this issue.
First of all, thank you, Alyssa, for finally waking up. Yes, it's been clear for years now that the DHS and the White House, they're not talking about, they're not caring about, they're not even addressing the same border. Two entirely different border situations in the minds of those people. You know, there have been an insane disconnect for years on not just that issue, but most issues. And a lot of it's due to garbage, just like Joy just said. You know, she says, well, why can't we spend all that money on the migrants that are already here? Well, Joy, that's exactly what we've been doing for decades now. And that's exactly the reason that millions and millions more people have considered that an invite. They don't really realize that. How do you how does Joy Behar and the people that trust her not see this, you know? And another thing, you know, this is for Alyssa. Guys, you know, did we think that calling a physical barrier was going to hide it from people? It's a wall, no matter what you want to call it. Even Alejandro Mayorkas has the intellectual integrity to call it what it is. It's a wall. Right, Alex?
There is no new administration policy with respect to the border wall. Allow me to repeat that.
Oh, maybe they're right. Maybe they really aren't communicating or on the same page on this one. You know, we may, guys, I'm making a funny video here, but we might actually be in real trouble. You know, we're not getting the answers that we expect from The View. So let's see what the real press has to say.
Thank you, Kareem. Thank you, Kareem. As a candidate, President Biden didn't say there will not be another foot of wall constructed that except what was appropriated in 2019. He said there will not be another foot of wall constructed in my administration. So something changed. What?
You want us to break the law? Is that what you want? You want us to not comply with the law?
I'm not.
But you want us to not comply
declarative.
with the law. You want us to not be in administrations that follow the
You
rule
guys
of law.
do this all the time. The student loan forgiveness program, you went to court to fight for that. If this is such a problem, building 20 miles of wall, why not just go to court?
We went to Congress. The Congress appropriates the funding.
Why not
Congress,
fight them more?
Congress appropriates the funding. We asked them to not use that funding for that particular purpose. They denied it, and now we're complying with the law.
If you have to build a border wall, but you don't think that it's going to work, then once it's done, are you just going to tear it down?
I'm not getting into hypotheticals from here. I'm just telling you what I can tell you from here. The facts are that DHS is complying with the law. This is from this was under fiscal year 2019 under Republican leadership, and DHS is
So yeah, I mean, those are all great questions. You know, it sounds ridiculous, but who wouldn't put it past our government to spend our money on something that they just plan to destroy anyway? And that's basically what they do. You know, anyway, I thought you guys would have some interest in this. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if you haven't already, guys, please like, comment, subscribe. Most importantly, share the channel. And we'll see you in the next one.